Hello everyone. Welcome back to EchoMind English. I'm Jessica, your host for today. If you are new here, I want to let you know that we upload a new English learning video every single day to help you improve your English faster and more confidently. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive amazing upcoming lessons. Welcome, my friend. You are here today because you want to improve your English, and maybe deep inside, you also want to improve your life. This video is not just about learning words. It is about training your ears, training your voice, and training your heart. Because English is not only grammar, not only vocabulary, not only exams. English is a bridge between you and the world, a bridge between you and your dreams. Maybe you feel nervous when you speak. Maybe your tongue feels heavy, your words feel slow, and you are afraid people will laugh at your mistakes. But let me tell you something very important. Every single person you admire today once spoke badly. Every fluent speaker once struggled. Every confident communicator once felt fear. The difference is not talent. The difference is practice. And today, you are here to practice in a way that is natural, simple, and powerful. Let's start with something that everyone in the world feels: worry, anxiety, fear of the future. These feelings are not only in your language, they are in your life. And that is why this practice is so powerful. When you listen to this story, you will not only improve your English, you will also heal a little part of yourself. So, listen carefully, repeat after me, train your ears, train your mouth, and let the words go inside you like music. Do not just listen with your brain, listen with your heart. Here is the first truth. Most of the things you worry about will never happen. Think about your last week, your last month, even your last year. How many nights did you lie awake, thinking about something terrible that might happen? How many hours did you spend imagining problems, failures, rejections? And how many of those things actually came true? Very few. Maybe none. Science proves this. A famous study from Cornell University found that 85% of the things people worry about never happen. And for the 15% that do happen, people handle them much better than they expected. So what does this mean? It means worry is not reality. Worry is imagination used against you. Worry is like a movie in your mind. A movie you watch and believe, even when it is not real. Your brain shows you a breakup that never happened. Your brain shows you a rejection that never came. Your brain shows you a failure that never existed. And still, you suffer as if it is happening right now. But here is the lesson. You are not reacting to life. You are reacting to imagination. Let me share a story. Clara was 27 years old. She worked in a technology company in London. Every day, she walked into the office with fear inside her chest. Her thought was always, I will lose my job. She checked her email 20 times a day. Every time her boss called her, Her heart started to race. Even when she did good work, her brain whispered, "They will find a reason to fire you. You are not enough." She lost weight. She lost sleep. She lost joy. She lived in worry for 3 years. Then one day, her boss called her into a meeting. Clara thought, "This is the end. I am finished." But instead, her boss said, "Clara, we have been watching your work. You are one of our most valuable employees. We want to promote you." 3 years of fear disappeared in 1 minute. She cried in the bathroom, not only because she was happy, but because she realized she had wasted so much of her life worrying about a future that never came. The lesson is clear. Worry steals your present by creating a fake future. When you are preparing for pain that may never arrive, you miss the life that is happening right now. The people who love you are here. The opportunities are around you, but you do not see them because your eyes are too busy looking at shadows. So let's practice together. Repeat these sentences with me slowly. Most of my worries will never happen. Right now, in this moment, I am safe. My thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts. Did you feel that? When you say these words, your body relaxes a little. Your breathing slows down. You realize the truth. In this moment, you are okay. The problem is not real. The pain is not here. You are safe. Your brain is a beautiful machine, but it is not perfect. It tries to protect you even when there is no danger. That is why you must learn to ask, "Is this happening right now? Or am I only imagining it? Can I prove this is true, or is it only fear?" When you ask these questions, you take power back from your imagination. You stop being the prisoner of your mind. You start becoming the master of your mind. So, as we move forward in this video, remember this first truth. Most of your worries will never happen. Do not waste your only life preparing for storms that may never come. Breathe. You are safe. You are here. You are okay. And now, let us continue to the next truth. Now that you understand the first truth, let's go deeper. The second truth will completely change the way you see your thoughts. The second truth is this: worry is not a fact. Worry is just a story. Take a moment to think about what a story is. A story is just words. A story is a thought. A story is a what if. It is something your brain creates with no evidence, but with strong emotion. It sounds like this: what if they don't like me? What if I embarrass myself? What if I get sick? What if something bad happens? Each of these sentences is not reality. They are not facts. They are only stories. Here is the problem. Your brain does not need proof to believe a story. Your brain only needs repetition. If you repeat a thought many times, your body and emotions start to believe it is true, even if it is a complete lie. That is how worry becomes a prison. Not because life is dangerous, but because the story in your head feels so real. But here is the good news. The same mind that writes a scary story can also write a peaceful one. That is where your power begins. You are not only the character inside the story, you are also the author of the story. When you understand this, you can take the pen away from fear and begin writing something better. Let me share a story that shows this lesson clearly. Jonah was a young man who had never been on an airplane. Just the thought of flying made his chest tight. The idea of sitting inside a big metal machine in the sky made him panic. He thought he would die. One day, Jonah was invited to speak at a global event in Singapore. It was the biggest opportunity of his life. But he said no. Why? Because of a story in his head. His brain said, "What if the plane crashes? What if I panic and scream? What if I can't breathe? What if I never see my parents again?" Every what if became a paragraph. Every thought became a chapter. And soon, Jonah was living inside a book called "This Flight Will Kill Me." But none of it was real. There was no emergency. There was no danger. There was only a story written by fear. A wise friend asked him, "Jonah, do you have any evidence that the plane will crash?" Jonah said, "No." The friend asked, "Do you have any medical condition that makes flying dangerous for you?" Jonah said, "No." Then the friend said, "You are not afraid of flying. You are afraid of a story in your head." For the first time, Jonah understood the truth. He was not running from danger. He was running from his imagination. He was running from a story. Finally, he took the flight, and do you know what happened? Nothing bad. He looked out the window, saw the beautiful clouds, and whispered to himself, none of it was real. The fear, the panic, the lies, they were just pages in a story that never came true. He gave his speech, he changed lives, and he never let worry control his story again. So what is the lesson here? You do not suffer because life is painful. You suffer because the story in your head tells you it will be painful. And if you never question that story, you will live inside it forever. But remember this, you have the power to edit the script. Instead of saying, "What if I fail?" Try. "What if I surprise myself?" "What if I lose everything?" Try. "What if I learn to handle anything?" "What if they leave me?" Try. "What if I never needed someone to complete me?" Thoughts are not facts. They are suggestions. You do not have to believe every thought you think. You can hear a thought and still say, "No, I will not follow this." Let's practice together. Repeat these sentences slowly with me. My thoughts are not reality. A story is just a story. I can choose a better story. Do you see how powerful that feels? You don't need to fight every thought. You don't need to believe every fear. You only need to question the story. The moment you ask, "Is this a fact or just fear?" you begin to escape. Here's an image you can keep in your mind forever. Imagine your brain as a movie theater. Every thought is like a film on the big screen. Some films are scary. Some are sad. Some are peaceful. Some are inspiring. But here's the question. Do you have to sit and watch every film? No. You can stand up. You can walk out. You can even choose a different film. That is the secret to freedom. From today, don't let fear be the director of your movie. Don't let anxiety write your chapters. You are the author. You are the director. You are the creator of your story. So repeat after me once more. I am not a victim of my story. I am the author of my story. This is truth number 2. Worry is not a fact. It is only a story. From today, take the pen back from fear and write something better. And now, let us continue. In the next part, we will look at truth number 3, the reason why worry feels like action, but is actually only replaying pain. Now, let's move forward to the third truth. This truth is one of the most important ones because many people do not realize it for their entire life. The truth is this: when you worry, you are not solving a problem. You are only replaying pain. Think about it carefully. When something painful happens in your life, maybe a breakup, maybe a rejection, maybe a failure, maybe someone insulted you, your brain records that memory. And instead of letting it go, your brain presses repeat. It plays the same scene again and again and again, like a sad song stuck on loop. You think you are working on a solution. You think you are being responsible. You think, if I think about it more, maybe I can fix it. But in reality, you are not fixing anything. You are only reopening an old wound again and again. And just like a real wound, if you keep touching it, if you never let it heal, it becomes infected. This is the illusion of worry. Worry feels like action. But worry is not action. Worry is repetition. Worry is replay. Worry is a prison. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine you have a wall clock in your house. 2 years ago, the clock stopped working. You replaced the batteries. You even bought a new clock. But for some strange reason, you never took the broken one off the wall. Very day you walk past it. Every day you look at it. And every day you feel confused because the time is always wrong. You know it does not work, but you still keep looking at it. That is exactly what replaying pain looks like. The moment has already passed. The damage is already done, but your mind keeps staring at it as if looking again and again will somehow fix it. But it never does. All it does is waste your attention and steal your peace. The truth is simple. You are not solving anything by replaying the memory. You are just keeping the pain on your wall. So, let's practice together. Repeat these sentences with me. I am not my past. Replaying pain is not solving pain. I choose to let it go. Did you feel that? The moment you say those words, you begin to take down the broken clock from your mental wall. Here is another way to see it. Imagine there was a fire in your home last year. It burned some things, but then the fire ended. You rebuilt. You moved forward. But in your mind, you keep replaying the fire every day. Every time you think about it, it is like breathing smoke again. The fire is gone, but the smoke is still in your lungs. And every time you replay it, you choke again. Not because the fire is happening, but because you never stopped reliving it. This is what worry does. Worry keeps the smoke alive. So, here is the big question. How do we stop replaying pain? The answer is courage. You do not need another day of thinking. You need one moment of courage to say, I am done thinking about this. I choose peace over control. I choose freedom over fear. Thinking is not healing. Overthinking is not problem solving. Overthinking is emotional avoidance. It is your brain saying, I will think about it again, so I don't have to feel it. But real healing comes only when you allow yourself to feel, release, and let go. Let me tell you something important. Worry is your past wearing a future costume. Worry pretends to say, let's fix this. But in reality, it is just replaying the same old pain, so you never move forward. So, here is a little exercise for you. The next time you catch yourself replaying a memory, stop and ask, am I solving something, or am I just suffering again? Most of the time, the answer is, you are suffering again. And if you are suffering again without progress, then it is time to stop. Repeat this with me. I do not need to replay this anymore. I release the memory. I choose peace today. Yes. It is that simple. Not always easy, but simple. Let's end this part with a powerful thought. You do not need another day of worrying. You need one decision of letting go. Because when you let go, you free your hands to build something new. This is the third truth. When you worry, you are not solving a problem. You are only replaying pain. And now, let us continue to the next truth. In the next part, we will discover why you cannot control everything, but you can always control your focus. This lesson will show you the secret to turning worry into peace. Now, let's move to the fourth truth. This truth is about power. It is about what you can and cannot control. The truth is this: you cannot control everything, but you can always control your focus. Let's begin with an example. Imagine a laser. Do you know how a laser works? A normal light bulb sends light everywhere. The light is weak because it spreads in all directions. But a laser is different. A laser concentrates all the light into one direction. And because of that focus, it becomes powerful. It can cut steel. It can travel far. It can heal eyes in surgery. The power comes from focus. Your mind works the same way. Your attention is your laser. Wherever you put your attention, you create power. Here is the problem. Many people put their attention on fear, on uncertainty, on shadows of the future, and just like a laser, when you focus on fear, it becomes stronger. It grows sharper. It burns through your peace, your confidence, your happiness. That is what worry does. Worry is the result of focusing on what you cannot control. But here is the good news. The problem is not the situation. The problem is your focus. Let me give you a picture. Imagine you have a beautiful green plant on your windowsill. The sun shines on it. It grows. Next to the plant, on the wall, there is a big dark shadow. The shadow looks scary. It moves when the wind blows. It changes shape. But the truth is simple. It is only the shadow of the plant. There is no monster. There is no danger. Only a shadow. But if you keep staring at the shadow, you will feel fear. That is what worry does. Worry makes you stare at shadows instead of looking at the real plant, the real light, the real truth. So, here is the lesson. You cannot always control shadows, but you can control where you look. Repeat after me. I cannot control everything, but I can control my focus. I choose to focus on peace, not panic. I choose to focus on what I can do today. When you say these words, your attention changes. Your laser becomes clear. Let's go deeper. Life will always have storms. Problems will always exist. But the question is, where will you focus? Will you stare at the storm, or will you build your shelter? Will you stare at the shadow, or will you water the plant? Remember this. Your focus is your superpower. Many people waste years of their lives focusing on what they cannot change. The past, other people, the unknown future. But wise people use their focus like a laser. They point it toward what they can do, what they can control, what is true right now. And because of that, they grow stronger, calmer, happier. Here is a small exercise for you. The next time you feel worried, take a deep breath and ask yourself these 3 questions. What is in my control right now? What is outside my control? Where will I put my focus? When you do this, you take power back. Let me share a story. Maya was preparing for a job interview. She could not sleep for 3 nights. Her brain kept saying, "What if they don't like me? What if they choose someone else? What if I freeze during the interview?" She was focusing on the shadows. Then her coach asked her, "Maya, what is in your control right now?" She thought about it. She realized she could prepare her answers. She could practice her English. She could choose her outfit. She could arrive on time, but she could not control what the company decided. She could not control who else applied, so she changed her focus. She stopped staring at shadows and started focusing on preparation. The result? She walked into the interview calm and ready. She didn't get that job, but 2 weeks later, she got another one because she had grown stronger, because she had practiced focusing on what she could do. This is the magic of focus. It doesn't guarantee success every time, but it guarantees peace because you know you are giving your energy only to what matters. So, let's practice again. Repeat slowly with me. My focus creates my reality. When I focus on fear, fear grows. When I focus on peace, peace grows. Yes, it is that simple. And the more you train this, the stronger you become. Here's the fourth truth in one sentence. Don't try to control everything. Control your focus. That is enough. And now, let's continue. In the next part, we will talk about time, the most valuable currency of your life. You will see how worry steals your time and gives nothing back. This lesson will open your eyes in a way you will never forget. Let's move now to the fifth truth. This truth is about your most valuable treasure. Not money, not property, not even health. The treasure is time. The truth is this: worry steals your time, but it never gives anything back. Think about it for a moment. Time is the most expensive currency in the world. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose things and buy them again. But time, once gone, never returns. Every minute you spend is a minute you will never see again. Now imagine this. You walk into a store, you give the shopkeeper 10 hours of your life, and in return, you get nothing. New solutions, new peace, new answers, only more confusion. Would you ever go back to that store? Of course not. But that is exactly what worry is. Worry is like a store that takes your hours and gives you nothing back. Let me give you a picture you will never forget. Imagine you have a machine in your home. It is your favorite machine. You need it every day. One morning, it breaks. It stops working. What do? You don't call a technician. You don't read the manual. You don't even touch it. Instead, you just sit in front of it and worry. You walk around it. You stare at it. You say, what if it never works again? What if I broke it? What if I have to replace it and I can't afford it? But you never try to fix it. You never take action. You only think, and think. That is what worry looks like. Worry feels like effort, but it is not effort. Worry feels like work, but it is not work. Worry is only spending time, spending energy, spending focus, spending emotions with no result. So, here is the lesson. Worry gives you the illusion of effort, but no solutions. Let's practice together. Repeat these sentences with me. My time is valuable. Worry steals my time. I choose to act, not just to think. Yes, say them slowly and let them enter your heart. Now, think about this. How many hours of your life have you already given to worry? How many nights? How many days? How many mornings were stolen by thinking about what if? Too many. And what did you get in return? Nothing. But here is the good news. From today, you can stop paying that price. You can choose to spend your time differently. You can choose to act, to move, to live. Let me share a story. Daniel was a student preparing for an English exam. He spent weeks worrying. He thought, what if I fail? What if I forget everything? What if I embarrass myself? Every day he sat at his desk, but instead of studying, he worried. He wasted hours imagining failure. The exam came, and yes, he struggled. Why? Because he had spent more time worrying than practicing. 1 year later, he decided to change. This time, every time he started worrying, he asked himself, am I studying or just worrying? If the answer was worrying, he closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and opened his book. He acted. The result? He passed. Not because he was suddenly smarter, but because he stopped wasting time in the store of worry. This is the lesson for all of us. Worry steals your time. Action creates results. So, let's repeat again. If I am not acting, I am wasting time. If I am not solving, I am just suffering. I choose action over worry. Beautiful. Do you feel how strong that sounds? Here is the fifth truth in one clear sentence. Do not give your precious time to thoughts that do not serve you. Because one day, when you look back at your life, you will not regret failure. You will regret the hours, the days, the years you lost to worrying about pain that never even happened. So save your time, act instead of worry, live instead of wait. And now, let's continue. In the next part, we will talk about the present moment. You will learn why the present is always safer than your imagination, and how living in the now can free you from fear. Now let's continue with the sixth truth. This truth is about where you live, not your house, not your city, but the place where your mind spends its time. The truth is this: the present moment is always safer than your imagination. Let me ask you a question. Right now, at this exact second, are you in danger? Are you falling from a building? Are you being chased by a lion? Is someone shouting in your face? Most likely, no. You are sitting, you are breathing, you are listening to my voice. Your body is safe. So then why do you feel unsafe? Why does your heart beat fast? Why do your shoulders feel tight? The answer is simple. You are not living in the present moment. You are living in your imagination. And that is where fear lives. Your imagination is powerful, but sometimes it is more dangerous than reality. Let me give you a story. In the Pacific region, there is an ancient volcano. For many years, people feared it. Locals believed it would erupt again, violently, just like in the old days. The government put up warning signs. Tourism dropped. Families moved away. For 10 years, people expected the explosion to come at any moment. But do you know what happened? Nothing. The volcano stayed silent. No smoke, no fire, no eruption. Yet fear did something the volcano never did. Fear destroyed lives. Businesses collapsed. Homes were sold for cheap. Children grew up afraid of a future that never came. The volcano was quiet, but people's imagination was loud. What does this teach us? The problem was not the mountain. The problem was the story in people's minds about the mountain. And worry works the same way. Your present is calm, but your brain creates a volcano of fear, a lava-filled future that feels real, even though it is not. You suffer, You panics. You stop living, not because of what is happening, but because of what you imagine might happen. That is why I say the present moment is always safer than your imagination. So, how can we come back to the present? There is a simple practice. Whenever your mind pulls you into fear, ask yourself these questions. What is happening right now? What can I see? What can I hear? Am I safe in this moment? Usually, the answer is yes. You are safe. You are okay. You are here. Let's practice together. Repeat slowly with me. Right now, I am safe. Right now, I am okay. Right now is all I need. Do you feel how calm that sounds? Your breath slows down. Your heart relaxes. This is the power of now. Your body knows how to be calm. Your breath knows how to guide you. But your mind is often too busy imagining the future or replaying the past. That is why you must train yourself to return to this moment. Remember, the past is gone. The future has not arrived. The only real place is here, now. And here, now, you are safe. Let me give you another image. Imagine standing in a train station. There are many trains coming and going. One train is called past. Another train is called future. They arrive, they make noise, they want you to get on. But there is also the platform. The platform is the present. It is stable. It is safe. You don't have to get on every train. You can stand on the platform. You can choose to stay in the now. This is the practice. Do not let your mind force you onto trains of fear. Stay on the platform of the present moment. That is where peace lives. So, repeat once more with me. The present is my safe place. The past cannot hurt me now. The future is not here yet. Peace lives in this moment. This is the sixth truth. Your imagination is loud, but the present is calm. Your imagination is full of fear, but the present is full of peace. Learn to return again and again to now, because now is safe. Now is clear. Now is peace. And now, let's continue. In the next part, we will talk about peace itself. You will discover that peace is not something you find outside. Peace is not a gift that comes to you. Peace is a skill you can train every day, just like learning English. Let's move now to the seventh truth. This truth is very powerful because it destroys a big lie many people believe. The truth is this: peace is not a gift. Peace is a skill. Most people think peace comes from outside. They think, if I had more money, I would be calm. If I had the right partner, I would stop worrying. If I had a bigger home or a better job, I would finally feel peace. But this is not true. Peace does not come from your conditions. Peace comes from your conditioning. Let me explain this with a simple image. Imagine someone throws you into a swimming pool. You don't know how to swim. What happens? You panics. You splash. You scream. You sink. Why? Because your body has never learned the skill of swimming. Now imagine the same situation, but this time you do know how to swim. What happens? You float, you breathe, you trust your body, you move with confidence. Same pool, same water, same situation, but a completely different result. Why? Because one version of you had no skill and the other version had trained. Now, here is the lesson. Life is the pool, worry is the panic, and peace is the skill. If you never train your mind, then every problem feels like drowning. But if you train your mind, even when storms come, you can float, you can breathe, you can trust yourself. So, how do we train peace? The answer is daily practice. Peace does not appear automatically. Worry is automatic. Peace is intentional. Let me repeat that because it is so important. Worry is automatic, but peace is intentional. You don't have to try to worry. Your brain does it naturally. But peace is something you must build like a muscle. You must practice it every day until it becomes your nature. Here are some small, simple ways to train peace. Spend 5 minutes in silence every morning. Just breathe. Just sit. No phone. No news. Write down your fears before you sleep. Put them on paper so they don't stay in your mind. Take 10 deep breaths before making a decision. Walk in nature. Touch the ground. Feel the air. Speak kind words to yourself every day, even when you make mistakes. Each of these practices is like swimming lessons for your mind. At first, it feels strange. At first, you may not notice a big change, but slowly, day by day, your peace grows stronger. And one day, when life throws you into deep water, you will not drown. You will float. Let me share a story. Sophia was a young woman living in a busy city. She was always stressed. Traffic made her angry. Work made her nervous. Small problems made her panic. She thought peace would come if she got a better job, more money, or a bigger apartment, but nothing worked. Then she started practicing. Every morning, she sat quietly for 5 minutes. At first, her mind was noisy. Thoughts came and went, but she stayed. She practiced every day. She wrote her worries down at night. She took deep breaths during work. She spoke to herself kindly instead of harshly. After 3 months, something changed. The city was still noisy. Her job was still hard. But inside her, there was calm. When problems came, she didn't panic like before. She had trained her peace. That is the power of practice. So, let's practice together now. Repeat slowly after me. Peace is not something I wait for. Peace is something I build. Worry is automatic. Peace is my choice. I train my mind for peace every day. Do you feel how strong that sounds? From today, stop waiting for peace to knock on your door. Stop waiting for life to be perfect. Life will never be perfect, but you can be prepared. You can train your peace until it becomes natural, just like swimming. Remember, peace is not a luxury. Peace is a necessity, and peace is a skill you can learn. This is the seventh truth. Don't wait for peace. Train for peace. And now, let us continue. In the next part, we will go even deeper. You will discover that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them. This truth will change the way you see your mind forever. Now let's continue with the eighth truth. This truth is a doorway to real freedom. The truth is this: you are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Think about this carefully. Every day, hundreds of thoughts pass through your mind. Some thoughts are happy, some are sad, some are full of fear, some are full of hope. But here is the question: are those thoughts you, or are they just visitors? Let's do a little test. Imagine you are sitting quietly, and suddenly a thought appears. What if I fail? Then another thought. What if everyone laughs at me? Then another. I'm not good enough. Now pause. Ask yourself, did you create those thoughts? Did you invite them? No. They just appeared like pop-up ads on a screen. They came from nowhere. Here is the magic. If you can see the thought, then you are not the thought. You are the one watching it. You are not the voice in your head. You are the awareness behind the voice. Let me give you an image that will stay in your mind forever. Imagine your mind as a train station. Every few seconds, a train arrives. On the side of the train, there are labels: fear, failure, not good enough, everyone's ahead of you. Each train is trying to take you somewhere. But here is the important question. Do you have to get on every train? No. You can stand on the platform, you can watch the train arrive, and you can let it go. No paw on it, no argument, no fight, just awareness. That is the secret to inner peace. Most people don't know they are at the station. They think they are the train. So when a negative thought arrives, they jump on it. They ride it for hours, for days, for years, until they end up in a place they never wanted to go. But now you know the truth. You can watch the train without becoming the train. So let's practice together. Repeat these sentences with me. I am not my thoughts. Thoughts come and go, but I remain. I choose which train to ride. Beautiful. Feel how freeing that is. Here is another way to say it. You are not your anger, not your fear, not your jealousy, not your anxiety. These are just trains passing through. And every time you choose not to get on, you grow stronger. You become calmer. You become the master of your mind, not the victim of it. So the next time a negative thought comes, try this. Instead of saying, "Oh no, this thought is true," say, "Hello, thought. I see you, but I'm not going with you." Let me share a story. Alex was a student learning English. Before speaking in class, he always thought, I'm going to make mistakes. People will laugh. I can't do this. Every time, he believed the thoughts. He rode the train of fear, and because of that, he stayed quiet. he never practiced. His English improved slowly. One day, his teacher explained this truth. Alex, you are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Alex decided to try. The next time the thought came, I can't speak, he said. Hello, thought. I see you, but I'm not going with you. He raised his hand. He spoke. He made mistakes. But nothing terrible happened. And little by little, his confidence grew. That is the power of awareness. So, repeat again with me. I am the sky. My thoughts are the clouds. I am the platform. My thoughts are the trains. I can watch without following. Yes, this is freedom. This is the eighth truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them. And now, let us continue. In the next part, we will talk about the design of your brain. You will discover that your mind was built for survival, not for peace. And when you understand this, you will finally see why worry is natural and why rising above it is your responsibility. Now we arrive at the final truths. These last two truths will help you understand your mind in a new way and will also give you the ultimate solution to worry. Here's the ninth truth. Your mind was built for survival, not for peace. This is something most people never learn. You think something is wrong with you because you worry so much, but the truth is, it is not your fault. Your brain was designed this way. Let me explain. Imagine you are cooking toast in the morning. The toast burns a little. Smoke rises. Suddenly, the smoke alarm in your kitchen starts screaming. Beep, beep, beep. You panic. You open the windows. You wave a towel. The alarm is so loud, you feel like your house is on fire. But really, there was just a little smoke. Why does the alarm react so strongly? Because it was designed to protect you. It is better for the alarm to make a mistake 1,000 times than to miss the one time there is a real fire. And your brain works the same way. Worry is your brain's smoke alarm. Even when there is no real danger, your brain screams, what if you fail? What if they leave? What if something terrible happens? Your mind overreacts, not because it wants to hurt you, but because it wants to keep you safe. Thousands of years ago, this was useful. Our ancestors lived in jungles. Every sound could mean a predator. Every mistake could mean death. So the brain evolved to always expect danger. But here's the problem. You are not in the jungle anymore. You are not being chased by tigers. Yet your brain still acts like you are. A text from your boss, a strange look from a stranger, a small mistake, and your brain screams, danger. So what do? We don't destroy the alarm. We don't throw away the brain. We learn to listen without panic. We learn to say, thank you for the warning, but I checked, and there is no real fire. This is how you rise above worry. You understand your brain is only trying to protect you. You stop blaming yourself, and you choose calm instead of panic. Repeat after me. My brain was built to protect me, not to punish me. I can listen to the alarm without panic. I am safe even when my brain overreacts. Beautiful. This is the 9th truth. Now, let us move to the final truth, the most important of all. The 10th truth is this: worry is the opposite of trust, and trust is the beginning of peace. Think about it. At the heart of worry is not fear. At the heart of worry is distrust. You worry because you believe deep inside, I can't handle it. Life will not work out. If I stop controlling everything, everything will fall apart. That is not fear. That is lack of trust. But here is the secret. You do not worry about what you trust. If you trusted your future, you would not fear it. If you trusted yourself, you would not doubt every move. If you trusted life, you would not need to control every detail. So how do we learn trust? Let me give you a picture. Imagine a farmer planting a seed. He puts it in the soil. He covers it, he waters it. Then he walks away. For days, nothing happens above the ground. No leaves, no sign of life, just silence. But does the farmer panic? No, he doesn't dig up the soil every morning to check. He doesn't shout at the seed. He trusts the process. He trusts the soil. He trusts time. He knows growth is happening, even if he cannot see it. Now compare this with your life. You plant your efforts. You plant your dreams. You plant your healing. But after a few days, you panic. You say, what if I'm not good enough? What if nothing is changing? What if it's all for nothing? And without realizing it, you dig up the seed. You suffocate your own growth. Not because life failed you, but because you didn't trust it. The lesson is clear. Worry is the noise that comes from a heart that forgot how to trust. So today, choose trust. Trust the process. Trust time. Trust yourself. And most of all, remember this. You have already survived 100% of your worst days. You are stronger than you know. You have already healed more than you realize. Repeat with me now. I trust myself. I trust the process. I choose peace over worry. Yes, this is the way to end worry and begin peace. And now, as we finish, let me tell you something important. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are simply someone with a strong mind, a mind that sometimes tries too hard to protect you. But you are stronger than your thoughts. You are wiser than your fears. And you are bigger than your worries. Let's remember the truths we learned. Most of what you worry about will never happen. Worry is just a story, not a fact. Worry is not solving problems, only replaying pain. You cannot control everything, but you can control your focus. Worry steals your time and gives nothing back. The present moment is safer than your imagination. Peace is not a gift. Peace is a skill. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Your brain was built for survival, not for peace. Worry is the opposite of trust, and trust is the beginning of peace. Take these truths with you. Speak them, practice them, live them. From today, let worry go, let peace in, let your life begin again.